Engineer Sani, we're going to come back to you. Our question before we spoke to Senator was, how prepared do you think we are as a country when you look at the elections for next Saturday, especially when it comes to security, when it comes to INEC? PVC pickup has been extended. One of the major voting blocks that you're appealing to is young people, and they're one of the largest voting blocks, especially university students. How prepared do you think we are, and what are your expectations for next Saturday's election?
Well, thank you very much, but I want to caution the distinguished senator there not to portray this government beyond, the bad light that has been portrayed by threatening me that EFCC should investigate me. For your information, this government is owing me money that I earned through my services to this country to stop the crude oil theft and things like that. Check my record, which I'm sure they must have checked. I had all my life, I have worked on what is transparency and accountability institutionalization in the government agencies. That's what I've been doing all my life. I've worked for NITI. NITI is an international organization. I've worked for Federal Ministry of Finance. I have worked for Federal Ministry of Trade and Investment. In all these places I've worked, even in oil and gas sector, in NNPC. As we speak today, my company is installing systems that will check abuses that people like you will not be able to steal our crude oil in the manner you are doing it now. For 10 years we have been on this government has refused to allow that system to be commissioned. So I am not the person that, I think EFCC must have checked this, and that's why they are quiet. They are owing me money, they are refused to pay me, I don't know for what reasons, which is a criminal offense. If somebody has done his job, what you can do is to pay the person his money. Yes, I am the chairman of my party. This party is formed to check abuses that are happening in this economy, and because I am the one who was the founder of the party, and at the time we were going to the elections, we tried by all means to get people to come and run, but none of them passed our test. That's why I had to run, and that doesn't make me in any way that I have done anything wrong. In our constitution, it's allowed. Constitution of other parties will allow this. So I must tell you that there are still clean Nigerians in Nigeria. We are not all APC, we are not all PDP. We are Nigerians who are very clean, and we are doing clean job. We want to really change the scenario, the narratives about this country. We don't want our country to be portrayed as a country of looters. We are not all looters, for God's sake. It's not that if anybody is doing anything, that person has stolen money. Why Sani has not stolen any government money? Why Sani has helped this government to stop corruption, and this government came, and there was a policy somersault at a level that you would never expect a government that's saying they are fighting corruption to come and stop a system that is checking crude oil theft and then not put anything in place, for God's sake. So let me tell you that this country is not what you think it is. Not all of us are thieves. Some of us know that we earn our credibility and respect and want to protect it to every length. That it doesn't mean that we cannot come into government to introduce, equity, probity in government. So to answer your question whether we are ready for this election, believe you me, Nigerians are ready for this election. But this government is not ready. They refuse to put in place a piece of legislation that will have guaranteed free and fair election for the people of this country. They refuse to allow the judiciary to have it's like the man is threatening me. They have already cowed all the institutions that will have guaranteed free and fair election. National Assembly has been cowed. Judiciary has been cowed. All individuals that are honest and want to do something have been cowed by state machinery that is used to rubbish Nigerians. That is not what we elected. That is not the Buhari I know. Cabal are in charge. That is not Buhari. I can tell you because Buhari knows me and I know him. I know the person he is. This is not the Buhari we know. This is not the government that the Nigerians voted for. We are trying to bring in place a government that Nigerians can be proud of, that can take us to the promised land. So we are ready. We are ready. Nigerians are electorate are ready, but this government is not ready. You can't be ready by refusing to allow the electoral law that we are giving us a free and fair election. They say it's too early to the election. President Jonathan signed electoral law 48 hours to the election. They signed it and it worked. That's what brought you to power. And now you have almost 4 weeks to the election and refuse to sign the election.
Mr. Sani, in lieu of the Electoral Act, we have the INEC guidelines. Do you trust those guidelines?
I don't, because it's fraught with a lot of loopholes. The incident form we're talking about is still there. In fact, in the worst form, that if you come and the machine cannot read your, the card reader cannot read your thumb or something like that, that you can now fill a form and then you'll be allowed. That is even more fraudulent than what we had before. This government would have done itself a favor. They would have allowed President Buhari to write his name in gold in the history of this country if he signed that electoral law. They didn't allow it because they knew that they had rigged this election. They are not ready for any free and fair election in this country. That's what I'm talking about. But the youth should please rise up and then protect their votes. You know, don't mind the process they are trying to give to us so that you'll be chased away from the election centers. Don't go away. You know, stay and ensure that the votes are counted and then the results are transmitted in a manner that it should be. They are supposed to display these elections, you know, at each polling unit, what they call public sheets. They must display that, insist that they display the public sheets which will show the counting of each vote in each polling unit before you leave, because they have stopped or they have refused to allow a way of transmitting it electronically, which would have guaranteed, you know, some level of accuracy in what we are doing. So they have introduced manual process more than ever before, and we are going to check it. That's why I'm saying Nigerians are ready for election, but this government has cowed even INEC. They cowed INEC, they cowed judiciary, they cowed legislative, they cowed individuals that would have spoken, and then how did they cow INEC? They didn't allow INEC to have a law that would have guaranteed free and fair election. And the senator is there telling us that they are the future for the future of this country. You are not. You are desperados. That's what you are demonstrating. We don't like desperados in government. And that's what you have shown.
Security agencies, are you confident in the police? And obviously, the government has rolled out Operation Python Dance 3. Do you find that to be an effective means of ensuring security, especially in areas affected by insurgency in the north?
We had security agencies in Osun. We had security agencies in Ekiti. They were used to harass the opposition. That is the point I'm making. Yes, you may have all the Python, whatever you want to call it, but they are used to harass innocent Nigerians who want to vote, out the government. That's what happened in Ekiti. That's what happened in Osun. We all know it. What has changed? Nothing. It is the same machinery that is being used. Look at how the senator is threatening everybody that everybody is a thief. Have they investigated you yourself?
Yes.
Senator, what's your opinion on Operation Python Dance 3? Because Mr. Sani just criticized it, a lot of Nigerians criticized it, and said exactly as he did, that it's a method of intimidation as opposed to a method of ensuring security.
I think what is on ground is that the military will be cut off the polling booths. Only the police will be there. But the military will be standing by in case anybody wants to make any trouble. That's all. I think the security is perfect. There is no doubt about that. Now let me come back to Sani. And for Sani, in fact, this is the first time I'm hearing your name, even since the campaign has started. I'm seeing your face for the first time on television, and I sympathize with you because you put your leg into a shoe that is 10 times bigger than your leg, and you are hungry, and you have every right to be angry because you know already what the result will be against you, whatever be. Because this election is between PDP and APC, and everybody knows that. So I sympathize with you. You have every right to be angry. I'm sure you have spent quite a lot of money. And for the money they are owing you just write to Buhari straight away. Maybe you say you know him. If you are right, you tell them to pay you your money. And if it is true that you are trying to monitor oil so that there will be no theft of it, thank God. Maybe you are doing it from experience. Who knows? But thank God, I think you should also write to Buhari, and they will do whatever they can do for you. But don't be too angry. Because you knew the situation before you entered it. So we'll come next Saturday. I think the security will be perfect. You are going to vote in your polling booth in any way. You are not going to be allowed to move around and so on and so forth. You will only be at your... What's funny?
Nothing.
You are still going to be at your polling booth, and I'm sure everybody, I will be at my polling booth, he will be at his polling booth, so there will be no time for anybody to really do anything that is damaging. As for the automatic transmission, I don't know whether he knew what is happening in America now, where the Russians have been accused of using the electronic media to secure victory for the president. And I think what the INEC are trying to do is just to make sure that the result they have with the polling booth is the result they have with them, not having another result here and announcing another and transmitting something different from them. So, of course, what they are saying is that it is what all the parties have signed at the polling booth that should be transmitted to them. That's all, rather than just putting a figure and transmitting to them. And I don't know why he's so angry about that. Maybe he has another plan. Only God knows. But I'm sure Nigerians are waiting to cast their votes on Saturday, and they will not tolerate any nonsense from anybody. I think we have waited for people for 16 years to do whatever they like, and they have done so. In the last 4 years, Nigeria is being returned to normalcy, and I'm sure Nigerians are willing to give another 4 years to Buhari to bring things to normal. And wish, by the grace of God, he will win. They come next Saturday. By the grace of God and by the votes of the people, we are confident that come next Saturday, victory will be ours. The only people who are contending are the PDP, and not the people like Sani, who has been backing since morning and just saying all sorts of things that has nothing to do. Instead of him to use this time to tell the people about what he wants to do for the people, he's so angry about the money they owe him. And because they owe you money, so you want to become president, so I can go and pay yourself. And that cannot happen. So I don't know why you are so angry about that. So I'm just appealing to people to look at the manifesto of every party and to look at the leadership. It's the leadership that matters. And I think Buhari has done so well. He has done so well, I can't imagine it. I think the combination of Buhari and the Shibaju is God's gift. You know, they are both very religious. They are both, they have zero tolerance to corruption. They cannot even tolerate you when you are corrupt, and so on and so forth. And I think they will lead us. They will lead us right. They are just the right people God has given us. After them, I don't know what could happen. But for now, these are the best people we can have. These are the best leaders we have ever had in Nigeria.
Senator, and this is also for Engineer Sani. During a couple of times, you referred to quite positively to some of the women you've come in contact with. You said very young women who are doing great things and really more about empowering women. One of the things that, one of the stories that broke a couple of days ago is the fact that Nigeria has one of the lowest rate of female participation in the political process. We're scoring in almost 180 towards the end of the list, while countries like Rwanda, countries like South Africa, in the top 10 of female participation. We had a female presidential candidate who is out of the process now, so we know that on Saturday there is not going to be a female candidate on the ballot. What do we need to do to get more women engaged in the process?
Now let me explain to you. If you look, let me take Lagos State for instance. 75% of the permanent secretary in Lagos State are women. More than 50% of the permanent secretary in the federal government are women. Women have integrity. They cannot go through the rigor of coming to ward meeting or facilitating with hooligans and so on and so forth. But after victory, we consider them for appointment. But let me warn you, women are the greatest enemy of themselves. Let us say we hold a primary, and they'll be saying, yes, women, just choose one woman. Half of the women will stop coming to meeting. That's the problem. Half of the women will stop coming to the meeting. So women are the enemies of themselves, not men. So for women participation, Nigeria has done very well. Go to Britain, what is the percentage of women participation? Go to America, what is the percentage of women participation? But we shall get there. Because if you look at the percentage...
on the list of countries, Nigeria is in the lowest, is in one of the lowest ranked countries, especially when you compare that to other parts of the world. So when you say these other countries, actually they fare much better than Nigeria.
No. Look, I've told you, Nigeria is Nigeria, and we have our own ways, we have our own method. Our customs are quite different from how did they get that Nigeria is lower rate? Where did they get the statistics?
Data, I mean, the number.
Which data? I've just given you a data now.
But that's permanent secretaries. We're talking about women engaged in the electoral process. These are elected officials.
Look, I've just told you, it's not like Britain. Nigerian women are so, I don't know, they don't involve themselves in such petty things, in such dirty things as campaign or so on and so forth. No. Most Nigerian women, no, but they participate from behind. Quite a lot of Nigerian ladies, if you go to our office, campaign office, you find them coming out with what to say, what to write, what to do, what is their manifesto, and so on and so forth. But you don't expect the women to be going about as hooligans or going about as touts and so on and so forth.
But APC has a female, I mean, your Senator Tinubu is a female, and she is, yes. So, I mean, how do we get more people like her involved? I mean, women are watching. Women are going to go out and vote. How do we get more women involved?
Let me say this to you. We have a method of, we don't select. We have we hold primaries. And in those primaries, people do emerge. We cannot say you must hold it. But sometimes when we find that it's all male thing, we enforce it that, look, here, take this woman, she's number 2. Here, take most of the women that we find on the list probably didn't even participate in the primaries. We make sure that we want some women on board, and so on and so forth. It's hardly you will find people like Mrs. Tinubu, whose husband is the leader of the party. Every minute in their house is politics. So she's used to it. Every second in their house is politics. Maybe when I leave here now, I will branch there to eat breakfast. If it's politics, they don't have their own time, no private time for her. She's always with all of us, so on and so forth. So you don't get that so many. You know, I, for instance, I don't involve my wife in politics. No. Even if you spend 10 hours in our house, you will not see her. She will be busy doing some other things. But this is not so when you come to Tinubu's house. They are always active. They are always participating. They are always there with all of us. So she's one of us. So you find also some other women who are always there. But what I'm saying is that the percentage of women who are ready, you know, to jump around, move around, and campaign are few. Very, very, very few. And those who show up, maybe they don't have enough funds to go for primary. You need also funds, you know, to participate in primary. There are so many steps you go to emerge as a candidate.
Which is why we were asking you, because
of a party.
Experience.
Unless you are in a party
you have been here
where
before.
You are the chairman, you are also the candidate, you are also the member. It's only then that you don't have this thing, you just emerge there, and it's only you, and it's only you, and you alone.
I would like to get
what I'm
engineer.
going to say is this. The future is also for the women. Look, this Nigeria is going, the only thing I don't know now is that whether the women will choose who they want to marry in the future. Because the way they are going about this entrepreneurship, the way they are going about this entrepreneurship is more at a higher rate than the men. If you look at Nigerian custom, really, it's the women that do most of the work. If you go to the villages, it's the women that work. They do all the work. They go to the farms. They prepare the fruits. They prepare the food. They do everything. Now, gradually, it's moving to the cities. This entrepreneurship thing, most of them are women. If you go to the market, it's women. All of us were busy wearing tie and going to offices. They are busy making money. So when you begin to say, I listened to a lady on television, and I was quite angry that you say you give special something to women as if they are handicapped. That no, we are up to the men, and that they should leave them to, at their time, they will come up. A time will come where a woman will be Nigerian president. A woman, she will just emerge. A time will come. A time will come, a president of Nigeria will be less than 50 years old. A time will come, because all these old ideas will vanish. We are all old. All will vanish. All of you will come with new ideas. You listen to us. We have trained you. We've sent you to school. You know what we have done wrong. During your time, you won't tolerate any civil war. You won't tolerate anybody just coming down and creating hate speeches. You will grab the person immediately and throw him away. We are too tolerant of bad things. You will not tolerate it because you all understand yourself and you're all educated. Quite a lot of people who commit crimes don't know they are committing crimes. They think it's sharing the cake. They don't know the damage they are doing to the country. They don't know. If somebody can steal $20 billion, if he realizes what that $20 billion can do for Nigeria, he won't steal it. So I am very confident in the future of Nigeria. One, all of you are educated, more educated. Some people will come and say, oh, education is now, that is a lie. What I could do when I was 18, my children of 7 years are doing it now. Somebody will come and say, oh, this education, Nigerian education is one of the best. If you like, you can send your children to private school. That's your headache. But me, I went to public school. All my children, they went to public school. And most of them came out in first class. So it depends on what you want and what you do. But we in Nigeria here, we have the best set of education because when our children graduate, they are useful to themselves immediately.
Senator, thank you. We're going to go to Abuja now.
Not like Sandy where did he say he told himself? Cambodia or
Colombia.
So
we're going to go.
See, he's speaking out of tune. We went to Columbia University. When you have Barewa there, you have University of Lagos. You have University of. It's because he wasn't qualified to attend those universities that he went to.
Engineer Sani, we just wanted to come to you. You did say that you tried to find people to run for the presidency in your party when you set up the party. One of the things we were talking to Senator about is the lack of representation of Nigerian women in the electoral process, really more than the political process, which what he said is women are involved in behind the scenes, but we're talking about in front when it comes to being on the ballot. There was one presidential candidate, which I also have been informed that there was another female presidential candidate. One of them will not be on the ballot on Saturday. She has announced that she is no longer running. How do we get more women to actually be part of the political process, but also the electoral process, therefore running for office? How do we get more women involved, and how many women in your party are on the ballots across the country?
Well, thank you very much. Let me correct the impression the single senator is one to I've been trying to create that didn't go to. And for your information, I attended one of the Ivy League universities in the world, one of the best 10 universities in the world. Check that out. Columbia University is one of the 10 best universities in the world. So you don't just get into Columbia like that. It takes a lot before you can be admitted into Columbia University.
Hey,
so I want you to please, mark that. Well, that's not the issue. The issue is what is the standard of qualification I have. It's one of the best 10. You can check that out if you want. Then, coming to the women, believe you me, in our party, what we have done is that we are putting in our constitution that of our party that 50% of the executive positions in our party must be occupied by women and youth. So that's to tell you that when we get to power, and by the grace of God, 2019, we are going to take over the governance in this country. We are going to amend the constitution to, like other countries have done, that a certain percentage of the elective positions must be allocated to women, so that you don't continue to do like what the senator said at their own leisure. They say, oh, okay, this one has done something, let's bring her in, and then maybe for what reasons you don't know. So we want them to, as a matter of fact, be qualified, on their own merit, not at your discretion. That okay, let's be no, we don't want to do that. So for women, ADP is the future for them. That's why they must vote against APC or PDP. We have them at heart because we believe that women must be democratically empowered so that the nation can grow at a faster rate than we are growing today. So that's what we have for the women. And when you look at the economy itself, like I was saying before, how to grow this economy, we believe that the constitution we have is a living document. We have executive legislative items on the constitution, concurrent lists on the constitution, and we believe that the regulatory agencies we have today, who are in comatose, this government, if I may tell you, came on board and literally, removed an agency that is supposed to guarantee this economy what you call transparency. A whole agency under a ministry was put out of operation. I don't know why. And this government that says they're checking corruption. We will ensure that because your government is as strong as your regulatory agencies. The laws that establish these agencies, they are not being enforced. That's what I'm saying. For instance, Revenue Mobilization and Fiscal Allocation Commission. It took this government, at the end of just last week, they announced the commissioners or what have you that are going to serve in that agency, for God's sake. CBN had an agency there that it took them only last year, 3 years after the administration came on board. These are policy making agencies that would have guaranteed that we do not even go into recession. But this government was so oblivion. They came on board 6 months down the line. They didn't even have ministers or anybody that would run the economy for us. And even when they now wake up and they are doing something, you still have so many agencies today that are in comatose. Nobody is in charge of this economy. In the last administration, at least we had somebody who was called coordinating minister. If you don't have coordinating minister, let us see these agencies or the ministries being at least rated. Before you used to see on the pages of newspapers, this ministry is ministry A, it's performed up to A minus, so we don't hear anything like that. How can you expect an economy to run that is not coordinated? Nobody's in charge of this economy. That's what is happening. That's why we're having poverty at level we're having it, insecurity at level we're having it. Everything has gotten us dived. We have 13.8 million children out of school. We are number 3 most terrorized country after Syria and Afghanistan in the world. We are supposed to be a country that is, we are 8th largest economy in the world, and today look at what has happened to us. We are the poverty capital of the world today, even after India. So you can now see what this government has done. The damage they have done to us, if we don't arrest it, this mistake is going to stop this country from existing as a nation. We are just existing. We must be living. We have the right to live like any other person in the world. That is what ADP is coming to do. That's what Engineer Yabagi Sani wants to do for this country. I know what to do. I know how to do it. I know we can do it. I know where our billions are being stolen. Our terminals, our oil and gas sectors have no meters, for God's sake. You know, the various agencies have come out to tell us that there are no meters. I know the Badu Commission went in to study the oil and gas sectors. No meters there. We don't know how much we are producing today. We don't know how much we are exporting. We don't know how much revenue is accruing to this country. And you tell me this is government that is honest, that is helping this country.
So worried about
if you don't manage a sector that produces 80% of your revenue, that is where corruption is endemic. And you think this economy can survive? It can survive under this government. That is the truth. That's why IMF is warning us. That's why HBS has checked out of this country. So I am passionate about the economy of this country because the economy that can be run in a way that everybody here, we can pay 100,000 naira minimum wage. That is possible under this economy. A government must challenge itself to wake up and to produce, provide solutions.
Engineer Sani, we're going to have to interrupt you. Yes. Sorry about that.
Following on from Biola's point about the representation of women, what is your youth policy? Earlier on in this discussion, you said that you've been appealing to the youth, which forms 60% of our population. But the youth, similar to women, feel excluded from the political process and feel that mere lip service is paid to them and their needs. Where is the generational shift that we were expecting in these elections?
Must be by women and youth.
Executives, yes, that's not part of the electoral process.
In our party.
Engineer Sani, how many wives do you have?
Come again, sir.
How many wives do you have? Maybe they are the members of your party. They are your senatorial candidates.
Do you have yourself?
Me? I don't know. I have one wife. You know, I'm a Catholic. Sani?
Well, I also have one wife.
Not lying. Sonny. You are on the television now.
You know, your impression of Nigerians is so horrible. We are gentlemen. We are people that of.
You see all those things you are telling us. They were what they told you in the university you went.
We are not.
All this one you are saying that the women
are 5%. We have grown past that stage of your estimate of Nigerians. And this is why this government is making mistake. Because they think we are robots. They think we are maroons. They think we don't know what we are doing.
No, you think because you went abroad for university, we are maroons.
If you can be talking the way you are talking, no wonder we are in the state of this bizarre, miserable state that we are in this country. This is a country that is respected, that is described as giant of Africa, that has everything that you can think of, that will make us great. What is happening? Because we have people with power who do not have knowledge of what to use that power for.
Mr. Sani, you are angry. That's the problem. Let us come to what we are saying now. You said you have 75%.
Nigerians are angry, sir. Nigerians are angry because we do not deserve what we are having. We are supposed to be better than what we are today. This economy can grow at a faster rate than it is. You don't know what is GDP. That's why you don't even know what I'm talking about. GDP means gross domestic product of the country. No. Means aggregate of activities happening in the country. No. That is what GDP is about. No, which means if you employ your mate or maid that you say is now saying you want to sew your dress for you, we want to create an economy that you have industries, you have small-scale industries performing at such a rate like it's happening in other economies. That's what we're talking about. Yes. We can't do that if a sector that is producing 80% of our revenue, is in such a manner that is as is being operated today. They issued contracts out. They don't follow due process. Nobody can check anything in that sector. And you are telling me that we can be able to grow this economy. We can't do it in that manner. We are not going to sell NNPC. We are not going to privatize it. But we are going to commercialize NNPC. We will outsource effective management to run that enterprise, because the way it's being run today is like if it's not their private enterprise, which should, in fact they will even run their private enterprise better than what they are running NNPC. You can't imagine that NNPC is still run on manual basis, that we don't know how much we are producing. We cannot have information sitting in the NNPC office here in what is happening at the export terminals. And you tell me I should be angry. I'm angry. Nigerians are angry if you don't know. We don't want to get a situation where people will knock on our doors and pull us out, pull us out and kill us. They will not stop only on the streets today. Boko Haram was only located people. Now the streets of Nigerians are not safe anymore.
Job alone.
And you say I shouldn't be angry?
Nigeria is not about NNPC alone. Nigeria is not about monitoring the fuel that they take alone. Nigeria is bigger than that. That's just a simple problem. Your own problem is what you think why should Nigeria should make you president. No. The problem of Nigeria is that, look, we need a bigger economy. The economy we need is for our people, for every individual to be employed. That's what we are saying. Every individual should be employed. For every individual to be employed, we need electricity. Everywhere in Nigeria must have electricity, must have electric power, so that we can generate work for everybody. The monitoring of meters is just your own problem. Leave that alone. Let's face the problem of Nigeria. We want to generate work for every Nigerian. We want accommodation for every Nigerian. We want every Nigerian, no matter what the wage is, it should be a living wage. No matter what the wage is, it should be a living wage. You can make the minimum wage 100,000, and it will still not be a living wage. They will still not be able to afford anything. So what we want to do is to make sure the railway are running, so that people can move from one place to the other. If there is a train that can run from Badagry to center of Lagos now, and you can get there in 1 hour, people will live there and pay cheaper rent and so on and so forth. So these are the things we are trying to do, to make sure the roads are flowing, to make sure the trains are working, to make sure that when you go to the airport, you can fly to any part of the country as you wish. This is growing the economy. This is what we know by it. Then when you now go to the farm, when you now go to the villages, to make sure that the people there, they are just doing the same thing as we are doing in the cities, that they have water, that they have light, that they can go to their farm and produce what we are going to eat, what we are going to export. So many, when the PDP were there, we were importing rice. Now we are importing, we will soon be exporting rice to neighboring countries now. We'll soon be exporting rice to them. These are the things we are talking about. Poultry now, we were importing eggs. Even the Obasanjo had the egg where he was producing 1 million eggs a day when he was president. Now the Obasanjo farm has closed down. They are not producing anything again. It's the people who are around who are now producing eggs every day. We are producing enough eggs for Nigerians now. Even if you have countries that want eggs now, we can ship to them. These are the things we are talking about. We are talking about how to make Nigeria better, how to make Nigeria great. When you talk of all this big grammar, GDP, GDC, that means nothing to Nigerians. What Nigerians want is 3 square meals. They want a roof over their head. They want electricity. They want water. They want their children in schools. Those are the things I want you to tell Nigerians you are going to do. You are too angry saying what Nigerian has done for you that you are not expressing yourself. But we, as APC, we have tried as much as possible to complete all this train with wide gauge, not old gauge, that with wide gauge. 2 days ago, or was it yesterday, we opened the line from Lagos, Abeokuta, Ibadan. Those are the things we want to do. You can now, very soon now, you can move from Lagos by road to Ibadan under 1 hour. These are the things we are planning. The second Onitsha Bridge will soon be open. We are trying to make sure that people can go to the east and come back the same day. We are trying to make sure that people can go to the north and come back the same day. These are the things we are talking about, and not about monitoring or metering or do that. That is the problem for those who are in NNPC and those who want to sell NNPC when they get there. We are not going to allow you to sell NNPC. We are not going to allow you to sell anything this time, because the ones you deceived us the last time that you wanted to privatize, all you did was to sell the things to yourself. That is what we want to prevent you from doing now. These are the language of Nigerians. These are the things that are on the ground that we want you to tell us which one will you do when you get there. You're not telling me about metering. What do you want to I don't even know where they meet. I don't even know how Nigerian crude oil is taken. It's only you who knows. So,
supposed to know, sir.
I'm supposed to know.
It's your property. It's your asset that is being filtered away.
No, I don't.
It's your asset.
No.
To grow the economy, you need to have money. And then we cannot take jumbo loans. We can't take jumbo loans from China. That 10 years now, we become slaves.
I'm an engineer like yours, but my field is different from monitoring or metering. Me, I construct roads.
It's our assets, sir. That's the mainstay of our economy today.
We can't joke with it. Don't make it the issue.
We can't afford to be bamboozled.
You are too angry.
But people telling us that you don't know. You are
too angry that they are owing you money. You are too angry that they are not using your.
No. I mentioned that to clear. I mentioned that to make a point. I mentioned that to make a point that my role in this economy is the one that this government owe me gratitude. They owe me gratitude, and I'm doing it for my nation.
There's only one thing you have said.
Go and check.
That say you
go
say
and check.
You will
the
pay
money that owing me cannot stop me from surviving or doing what I'm going to do.
That's the only thing you have said.
I'm not exporting crude oil and gas.
You said you will pay minimum wage of 100,000.
I said what?
You will pay 100,000 minimum wage. That's the only thing that you have said here that I picked. Yes. If you have been saying that since morning,
create jobs.
If you have been saying that since morning, maybe you will have gathered some more votes rather than all this metering.
Oh, even as it is, I have votes because people understand Nigerians are not, as informed as you think. Nigerians are informed. I'm not talking about we politicians. The electors are looking for an alternative, and we are the alternative. Not the two bad choices that are present to Nigeria, and you think you have got us where you wanted us. No, we can't be cowed. Not all Nigerians can be cowed.
Nigerian problem is not the way you are looking at it. Nigerian problem is that we want our people to live a good life, whether you are in the village, whether you are in the town, whether you are anywhere. You are talking of rich people. We can't do that by taking loans that are misappropriated by civil servants. We can't do that. You take loans and then you bring them and then you share 70%. Mr. President himself said, were you part of the PDP
Mr. President said that the revenue or the money that the state governments are taking, 70% of it is always taken by themselves. Only less than 30% is used for the nationals. So and you take jumbo loans to share amongst yourself. That's what we want to stop. We can't continue like that.
That is good. I support you there. Try and stop. Try and stop that one. Look. Please, just give me one minute. The problem of Nigeria is that we want every Nigerian to be gainfully employed. Every Nigerian to be gainfully employed. Now, we have quite a lot of graduates who still think that it's white-collar jobs that they have to do. No. The emphasis I'm trying to make here is that people should try a business on their own. And I've made emphasis on these girls, young women who are now entrepreneurs, who has developed so much entrepreneurship that they are doing very well. And I think we will encourage that. We have gone to we've created loans for such people, 100,000, 200,000, up to 500,000. For people who want to start their businesses to take these loans and
so it goes beyond that. You must make the cost of doing business in Nigeria to be as low as it can be. And you have to also remove all these draconian laws that you have, that unless you know somebody, nobody really cares about you. Nigeria must be for Nigerians. We must have an economy that is for all of us, not for only few.
Sonny, you know the point we have made.
In particular,
not when these people, these corrupt people, how did they get the money out?
Oil and gas. No. Oil and gas will soon be out of favor. Nobody will talk about oil and gas in another 20, 50, or 50 years.
This money that are
but you make here where the sun shines. That's what we're talking about.
Through the banks.
God has given us something that we can use to grow this economy. I'm talking about agriculture, how to grow agriculture, how to grow the industries, how to grow the service industry, and how to ensure that education is properly, equipped. Look at ASU. ASU have been on strike only simply because they want a government to invest in education. For God's sake, how can it be investing 7%? The budget this year is about 7.something% in education. The minimum that is required that UN is advised is 26% of your budget.
You are quoting UN.
26%, and you are just
Nigeria.
7% to it, and you think you are growing the economy.
When we talk of Nigeria, you are quoting
you can't grow the economy. If they are not healthy, you can't grow the economy. We must invest heavily in education, in health sector, in our youth.
You are in Nigeria. Let's talk Nigeria.
One of the things that we must consider as very important. This government does not understand this. This government only spend money in areas that they can use for elections. When elections come like this, you are telling me about connecting railways or this because there are jumbo loans to be taken, which you share or use during elections. Look at the kind of thing you have done to Nigeria. In terms of your campaigns, it's a shame, really, that you take taxpayers' money.
Ask anybody who is in APC. This president did not give a penny to anybody for campaign.
Is it not the same government who has been in place for 3 years or 4 years now? Do you have to spend that much? Do you have to print so many posters? Do you have to inundate everybody? Everybody is out. Every three in Abuja is bearing President Buhari's picture as if he's coming for the first time. Buhari is known. Let him run on his performance, not on pictures. Like you saw dummy to Nigerians when he was coming, and you didn't allow the man to perform. He came and then you put the man,
thank you so much.
And then put a capacity in place to run our economy.
Engineer Sani,
we don't even know them.
Engineer Sani, thank you so much.
To bamboozle Nigerians, you think you are fools. We are not fools.
All right. Thank you so much. We wish you all the best.
That will not give you what we are angry, sir. Nigerians are angry because you have taken us for a ride for too long.
Engineer Sani, thank you so much. We wish you all the best on Saturday, and we hope to have you back again after the elections. Good luck in your campaign. Senator Adefuye, it's always a pleasure to have you here. Thank you so much, and wish you and your party all the best. It's time now for a short break. When we return, Arise News analyst and producer Charles Owako will be joining us to review the top newspaper headlines from across the country. Stay with us.